are you right now? I'm at Soup! What do you mean you're at Soup? I mean I'm at Soup! What store are you in? I'm at the Soup store! Why are you buying clothes at the Soup store? Fuck you!
Okay.
Hello, internet. Oops, sorry. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Where were we? Welcome to...
Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, but I'm trying to introduce the show.
Far out! I'm grooving on a million swinging volts, and I love you all. Whoops!
Maybe we should start over.
Too late. We're already here.
I'm sorry. Oh God.
Welcome to the... What's the show again?
Welcome to the first episode of Boy vs. Girl. Today we are going to talk about feminist frequency versus gaming. And as we're both gamers, Look, before we start this, I'm gonna put some ground rules out there. We both agree that, well, feminism has a long way to go still. We've got it pretty good, women, okay? We don't have it perfect yet, but considering what it could have been like if we had never had the suffragettes and all that other stuff, we're doing pretty good.
I am the first one to agree that women should have all the rights they want.
And we're going to just put one other thing out there too. We are not Tumblr feminists. Meaning, we aren't the whole men are evil scum of the earth, if you have a penis you are horrible type of feminist. We are basically just two people who believe in feminism and believe in equal rights for everyone, no matter your sexuality, your gender, any of that. Totally just basing off how we feel about you based on your personality and nothing else.
Oh, that's nice.
But that isn't exactly what happens to fall into people's minds when you hear the word feminism, now is it?
Not really. Well, to me it's kind of different because I kind of grew up around a lot of different strong women who were just like, you're going to learn how to shave. From you, Papa? No, from the Mishka down the roadway right there. But Miss Mishka is 300 pounds and 7 feet tall. She also knows how to shave beard better than I do. Now get over there and start shaving. But I'm only 5. Get over there and start shaving.
And as for me, I grew up with the proto-Tumblr feminist as a grandmother, and, well, just basically with the idea of why shouldn't I have the equality rights to a man, just based off the fact that I one day will have these massive things, which I hate.
I think I kind of relate to this girl.
Yes, I'm hiding Pokeballs in my shirt. Don't judge. Okay, so, before we begin, I'd like to just say that Anita Sarkeesian to me is not a feminist. Anita Sarkeesian is tapping into a base where a lot of girls who don't really know what the feminist movement is about believe feminism is. In her most popular, and I use the word popular in quotations, video tropes versus women in video games, she makes a horrible case for herself. See, here's the thing. While she does have some points, she doesn't argue the other side that there are a lot of strong women in video games. Off the top of my head, I can name 5. Nancy Drew from the Nancy Drew series from Her Interactive, Chell from Portal, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider,
Jade from Beyond Good and Evil.
Jade from Beyond Good and Evil, and oh crap, I can't remember her name. Ellen Page in Beyond Two Souls. Look, it counts because she's a female, okay?
No, not that. I just have horrible memories of the game mechanics.
Yes, but for our purposes, it's not the game mechanics right now. But seriously, 5 characters. 5.
5! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5!
Okay, and Chell, And Nancy Drew, okay, Nancy you never see, but she's assumed to not be wearing anything scantily clad. You can look into her suitcase in the games and, well, you know, she's got t-shirts and jeans.
That's because Nancy Drew has always been written to be a 11 to 10-year-old girl. They don't try to follow that whole dressing them sexualized thing until they're at least 18, like Juliet Starlet in Lollipop Chainsaw.
True, but even Juliet Starlet, you know, she can take care of herself. The man doesn't save her, she saves herself.
No, not
sure
that.
She is.
No, not that. I'm just talking about the sexually explicit attire.
True, but even in that case, I would like to argue the point that as a woman, I like dressing sexy. It can be empowering to wear the short little miniskirt, pair of heels, and a pair of fishnets, okay? It's nice to be looked at and told, yeah, you look beautiful. Just like it's nice to be told you look handsome.
Anywho, on my whole spectrum about Anika Sarkeesian, I first found her during the whole straw-haired strawman feminist video, along with Mystic Pregnancy. And the only two arguments I had with those properties are as follows. With the strawman feminist, that wasn't about feminism, that was just about kind of a xenophobic nature towards males. That's not how men would write feminism. If they were to do it, they would do it like the Seth MacFarlane way, or like the writers of Drawn Together, where they're just trying to literally push the boundaries on your whole sensibility about what is and what isn't supposed to be true. As well as for the Mystic Pregnancy thing, sure, it's used a lot for people saying it's the bringer of the Antichrist, but allow me to take it back a couple steps further from this. For the Christian side, I'm not Christian, so I don't really give a fuck how you take this. On the Christian side, there is the story about how Jesus was born from a Genesis birth, which is a mystic pregnancy to writers, because he was the beginning of hope. Along with that, there's also Athena from mythology, who was born from the head of Zeus, since he ate Thetis, and her essence gave birth to Athena, not sexually, but mentally through the very forehead of Zeus. That is a mystic pregnancy to a powerful woman that has shaped women throughout all of Greece, and even Athens itself, where they even still praise her today as their patron saint. Another example of a good mystic pregnancy, I've read a lot of people talking about how Nick Gauther from the Chronicles of Nick series was supposed to be a mystic birth from get-go to shape either the good or evil side for Dark Hunters, which are people that hunt werewolves, demons, and other sort of likes. And he still proved to be a hero in his teen series, while still struggling to not become what he is in the main series, because he has a strong female empowerment symbol. The fact of the matter that people still make that idea of just like, oh, it's only for evil pregnancy, when you don't even understand that it's a two-way street with a mystic pregnancy, openly admits that you do not know your research when it comes to fiction as general means. And this is coming from a writer who still makes books today about how you can still use tropes like this in a realistic manner.
I'd like to add to that with the whole idea of, Mary Magdalene. She is seen a lot within the story of Jesus Christ. I'm not a Christian, I'm an atheist, and I'm proud of my atheism. But throughout that entire story, Jesus Christ does not slut-shame Mary for being a whore, because we all know that Mary Magdalene was, in fact, a prostitute. He treats her like an equal, and in a lot of ways, that is a prototype of feminism. He doesn't care that she sleeps around, she just cares that that she takes care of herself, and that maybe she needs a little help, that maybe she needs someone to take care of her a little bit. Not in the whole, oh, I need a man to save me sort of way, but in a, I need someone to help me because we as human beings are social creatures. Another thing to maybe just think about a little bit is the fact that before Christianity was even a thing, witchcraft was the go-to, okay? Paganism and Druidism, which comes from my patron saint of Ireland, So I'm Irish, by the way, if you didn't know. And in that, the whole idea of paganism and Wiccanism is basically there is an equal balance between men and women. There is the huntsman, who is married to the Green Lady. There is a goddess of the sea, and there is a god of the sea. There is the goddess of the moon and the god of death. These are all connected, and the main goddess, known as the Great Mother Goddess, has complete and utter power throughout this entire religion. It is a religion based off of the idea that because women give birth, therefore women are not subordinate to men, but men are not subordinate to women either. They coexist to both protect each other and take care of each other. And in a lot of ways, we've forgotten that that was how feminism sort of started, paganism-wise. Just saying.
Man, I haven't had to talk this decent about feminism in a long time.
And this is kind of the problem with people like Anita. She isn't a real feminist. Look, she might believe in feminism, she might believe in the beliefs of feminism, but she doesn't articulate it correctly.
Not
And
at
what
all.
I mean is she does it in the same way that Tumblr does it. If you are, I think it was Jelly Apocalypse who once did a video on, welcome to Tumblr, and they did this whole bit where it was basically, are you a white male who is, heterosexual and comfortable with having a penis?
Get out.
Reblog!
That's kind of how Tumblr is. If you are not into the cookie cutter mold of what Tumblr wants you to be, Although I don't think gamers are completely innocent either. And because I started the video off, I'm gonna give Vince the first crack at this. Do you think gaming is actually very equal to women or not?
Hell no.
Thank you.
Allow me to explain my case before you do.
Alright.
I've been playing video games since they've been in development throughout the late 80s, early 90s, because I've had a long experience of gaming from the Atari 300 all the way to now with me dabbling in PS4, Xbox One, all that bullshit. The things that I've had to pretty much play through have been the damsel in distress trope, the possession trope, the explicit sexual nature trope, the I'm doing this to get laid trope, the I'm doing this to find my love interest trope, the I'm trying to find a man trope, the weird-ass visual novel trope where it's like the woman must sleep with the guy because he acted very charming in a nerdy way trope. The weird-ass Japanese games where the couple falls in love because the world is hanging on their shoulders. I'm a giant Final Fantasy fan, so I've been playing a lot of them over my course of a couple of decades. And I've also been playing a lot of stuff where you had to kill your love interest to progress through the game. And throughout all those things, I've never found it very fair to women. I mean, sure, I will play them just to see the story through because I'm a completionist. I can't stop a game and then just go on. I have to literally see through it every single angle, which is a giant curse. But the thing is, none of it is ever fair to women. It's always a very brutal thing towards them. But the thing that other feminists don't realize is that's not always the giant majority of how women are treated in games. There are certain developers that are from France, India, and China, and even Japan that make it very women-central about how the characters can progress, where it's usually sisters or usually mother-daughter pairs that have to sacrifice their husbands and even their own brothers to progress through the story, to kind of even it out throughout other stuff they have done. But because they're never really brought to light like the other popular games that I'm probably going to talk about later on in my career, no one ever knows that those actually exist. They're just like, oh, because there's a guy developer out there, he's going to do all the horrible tropes to women. But it's never always just that. It's just a very small majority that has a good thing about progressing through feminism in gaming, but it's overshadowed by everyone going over the popular titles that overlap those singular topics.
Okay, with me, I look at video games as, yeah, there are a lot of more male main characters than female main characters. But in a lot of ways, women it's not mostly about the characters as much as about online play. Let's say I wanted to play Halo online. I wanted to play against a bunch of other players, and I want to be on the mic and chat with my team and all that other stuff. Within 5 seconds, I would be told, tits or GTFO. I would be, if I wanted to dress up like a female character in even World of Warcraft, I'm going to be wearing armor that barely covers anything. If I want to be a woman in most games, I'm not going to have the option, or at least at the beginning, I'm not going to have the option of having everything covered up. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with sex. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being sexy. But it gets to the point where there are a large majority of games where if you're a woman, you don't feel comfortable being in the game. Right? You don't feel comfortable being on the chat because you know that there's going to be one douchebag who's going to constantly say, show us your tits, show us your tits. And that's where I think a lot of the problems for gaming with women kind of come. Did you know that when gaming first started, it was all women developers and coders who were creating this stuff? Pac-Man was created by women, and it was mostly enjoyed by women. That's why Ms. Pac-Man, not Mrs., Ms. Pac-Man was the follow-up. She was a strong 80s career girl, with a master's in eating ghosts. But with mainstream developers pretty much saying, no, we're not going to cater to women, we're going to cater to the male demographic, well, it's kind of gotten to the point where women don't feel like they can play the games. We don't feel like we can get involved in, anything that's online because we know that we're going to get harassed by some douchebag who thinks that he's entitled to something. And the other problem, one that really bugs me, is the fact that people consider mobile games, which cater mostly to a very female demographic, like Candy Crush and stuff like that, are only played by women because women can't handle real gaming. It's not that at all. We can handle real games. Hell, I'll take Vince on in, Final Fight or Portal, in a multiplayer mode any day, and I'll probably kick his ass. Yes, I know those are fighting words.
Mostly because Final Fight to me is kind of boring. I'm more of a Mortal Kombat person because I get to be one of my mains of Ermac or Sub-Zero, and I just go crazy with the buttons. I'm like one of those button mashers in the first round, and the second round I'm just all finesse.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about being able to actually play, but the problem is women don't feel like they can play these games without being harassed by some douchebag who thinks he's entitled to your breasts. The other thing, too, is the gaming industry has kind of ignored us. Other than the Nancy Drew games, growing up, I didn't really see a lot of female protagonists in the games that I played. And it kind of bugged me that I couldn't play as someone who looked like me without the boobs being out to here and them being a size fucking -20.
Or being super porny, or just Laura, stop running the camera. Oh shit!
Stop looking at your erection.
My eyes!
It's like, Mom, can I buy this game? Why is she naked? I don't know, I'm 10.
If only that were the case. The only times I ever saw women in games were either Legends of Dragoon, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Lara Croft, obviously, from Tomb Raider, Sims 1, those Sims 1 expansion stuff, Sim City, Sim Tycoon.
But they're not really characters. I mean, sure, they're characters, but they don't really have character. They kind of are just what you make them.
Yeah. But the option to just play women in a whole you're playing God thing was just I could ignore the fact that game developers are crap. I could just make them set themselves on fire. God commands you to die!
I think the other thing, too, when it comes to gaming is that we have to remember that it's not exactly the game developer's fault as much as it's the culture itself. We live in a very vast male-oriented culture, and if you want proof of that, just come to fucking Hill Rose, Colorado. Trust me. Also, though, if you're black, Hispanic, Asian, anything other than a heterosexual white person who dates other white people and a Republican and have an IQ under the age of 10, don't come here. You will try to commit suicide within the first 24 hours, trust me.
Well, I guess only 3% of me can walk through Hill Rose, Colorado.
Yeah, just don't hold any girls' hands that are the color of milk. Trust me. But I guess our verdict when it comes to the whole gaming versus women thing, at least on my end, is there is a point to feminists being angry about the fact that women aren't completely, shown in a good light in gaming, but it's getting better. I think more we should be angry about the fact that women aren't allowed to be women in the chat without being sexually harassed, and the fact that a lot of people aren't willing to change that culture annoys me. But at the end of the day, people like Anita are not the reason why we need to change video games. The reason we need to change video games is because it's a medium for everyone. It's an art form for everyone. And saying that someone can't do it just because of how they were born, that's bullshit. Hell, it's like the whole Mass Effect drama when, you found out that you could play as a gay character. I'm cool with that option.
Wait,
why can't you?
That was a shock?
Apparently to, men's rights activists, yes, but to the rest of us, it was just oh, cool.
I didn't even notice that was a shock. I was just like, oh, so you can take it up the ass. Alright.
Hey, if that's your preference, good for you.
I was just like, okay, so Shepard could put it in the puss or take it up the ass. Okay.
It's not like you even saw, the sex.
Can I just shoot things now? Because I don't care if he takes up the ass right now. I just want to shoot things.
Basically, I got nothing else on this one, to tell you the truth, Vince. You got anything?
For me, when it comes to what is kind of the culture about what modern day gaming has done over the past couple of decades, my thing is it honestly made the monsters that we have today. And I want to say it like this so that no one misconstrues me. When gaming was first developed was kind of like how film was first developed when it was a silent movie back during the Charlie Chaplin days. No one knew what the formula was. They were just experimenting with what it was going to happen, and they just took regular story from what we grew up in mythology and with legends. The damsel in distress trope comes from the Arthurian lore and from what the Middle Ages taught us about how princes and princesses interacted when there was dragons afoot. Like how Arthur tried to save Guinevere with this legendary sword of Excalibur from a legendary dragon. That carried on to what we have now as our titular thing of damsel in distress trope of Mario. He is gaming's King Arthur, and Peach, dear God, I regret saying this, is our Queen Guinevere. They are basically the Nintendo's interpretation of what the Arthurian lore first started off with the damsel in distress trope. However, as gaming has developed and has been experimenting with what it has, it's gone from the same roots that film has gone through with its silent movie era, where it was entertaining to see how it was developing itself and even growing forth. It became a toxic environment that kind of gave us the Twitch streamers that I despised very dearly. It gave us Anika Sarkeesian. It gave us people that misconstrued what Gamergate really should have been for feminism. And it gave us a lot of backlash to things that should not have been backlashed. If people were to be in a more constructive manner where they could have taken further steps to make sure they didn't make things go in a very violent and dark way with how they were going to make a game, things would have been a lot better, where both male and female gamers would have a better way of discerning what they want from the industry rather than just being at each other's necks when some of us don't even know why they're at our necks. We're just in the middle of a game, just playing, and all of a sudden it's just like, you're a fucking tickler!
What the hell did I do?
I just logged in and I'm only 5!
But I guess that's all we really have to say. I guess the conclusion is, if we want gaming to grow up like most of the critics want it, we ourselves have to step back and go, hey, maybe it's time that we stop doing this, and maybe we create a new formula. By the But thanks, guys, for watching. My name's Annabelle. I hope that you'll check me out on Flickr, link in the description below, and definitely go subscribe to Vince's channel if this is on his channel or mine. I'm not sure who's gonna post it yet. I'm a little trepidatious, but yeah. Fine, but you're editing. But yeah, it'll be up on my channel, so please like and subscribe. Go check out Vince's channel because it's gonna be in the link. Either going to be a link somewhere around here or in the description below for sure. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoyed.
Wait a minute.
What?
What's the next topic for the next show?
Should we let the comments decide, or? Okay, yes, I know. Stupid question. Well, since I chose this topic, why don't you choose the next one?
Well, I could go into a whole rant about the feminist thing involving how animation's gone in the Western culture and how it's gone into further steps with things like Clarence and Steven Universe. But fuck it, let's talk about the evolution of anime.
Okay. But thanks again for watching, guys. I've been Annabelle, otherwise known as the Goth Girl, and he is Vince. So, any last words, Ben?
Well, since it's not my show, I can't do my catchphrase, so you gotta come up with your own.
I'm Annabelle, and I don't have a catchphrase. Bye, guys.
Bye.
No matter what your sex, race, or creed.
Bring it on!
You can be strong, you can be smart, you can be equal.
Don't bow down. Don't despair.
Try to remember that when anyone tells you you're not capable of something, or that you don't deserve something, or you don't belong somewhere.
I won't quit. Not ever.
Nah, man, I think you're the bomb.
Nah, man, you the bomb.
No, you the bomb.
You the bomb.
No, you the bomb.
We both the bomb.